Jacob sat on the porch, watching the dark clouds roll in. The wind picked up, rustling the trees. His son, Eli, sat beside him, clutching a small toy boat. "Dad, do you think it will flood?" he asked. Jacob shook his head. "No, son. God promised it wouldn't." Eli frowned. "How do you know?" Jacob sighed. "Let me tell you a story." He leaned back in his chair and began. A long time ago, the world was full of wickedness. People had forgotten about God. They hurt each other, lied, and turned away from what was right. It got so bad that God decided to cleanse the earth with a great flood. But there was one man, Noah, who still listened to God. Eli's eyes widened. "Like a superhero?" Jacob smiled. "Not quite, but he was faithful. God told him to build a big boat, an ark, to save his family and the animals. Did people laugh at him? They did. They didn't believe a flood was coming. But Noah trusted God. And when the rain came, it didn't stop for 40 days and nights. The whole earth was covered in water. But Noah and his family were safe. And then," Jacob pointed to the sky, "then God made a promise." The first raindrops began to fall. Eli watched them hit the ground, darkening the dirt. "What promise?" "Genesis 9:12-16, Jacob recited. "And God said, 'This is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life.'" Eli's grip on his toy boat loosened. "So every time we see a rainbow, it means God remembers?" Jacob nodded. "Yes, it's a sign that he keeps his promises." Eli was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "But people still do bad things." Jacob sighed. "Yes, they do. And sin still brings consequences. Wars, sickness, pain, those aren't God's doing. They come from choices people make. But the world itself will never be destroyed by a flood again. God is faithful, even when people are not." Eli kicked at a loose pebble. "What if someone stops believing? What if they forget about the rainbow?" Jacob looked at his son. "Then they need to remember. They need to trust again. When we doubt God's faithfulness, we repent. We tell him we're sorry for forgetting his promises." The rain had stopped. A beam of sunlight broke through the clouds. Eli pointed. "Look." A rainbow stretched across the sky. Eli grinned. "God really does remember." Jacob nodded. "And now, so do we." They sat in silence, watching the colors fade. The storm had passed, but the promise remained. Please remember, if you feel blessed by this video, please like and share this video with a friend or a loved one to bless them or encourage them through any situation they may be going through.